I just don't know how to change notes, but I feel like my whistling skills would at least save me if the Titanic was sinking. Like, I can't, it's really for business than pleasure.
It's not for pleasure. Yeah, remember I like taught myself how to whistle in college.
What?
Yeah, I was like very dedicated to this mission. You were fully aware of it. It was like every day I would practice, just like one day for like 5 months in a row until
Man, I thought I was living with a bird.
nope. This was senior year. So this was
I wasn't around as much.
You're kind of absent.
Yeah.
As a
I
friend.
went out for milk and never came back.
Yeah, you said you were going to the grocery store. You didn't hear me whistling.
I'm perfect for this movie, Daddy Issues galore.
I know.
So do you want to sing anything or do you just want to launch right in?
Yeah, I think we just launch right in.
We can talk about Uncharted as well.
Okay, we can just do a double feature because right now it's like two spy, criminal, thief.
Red Notice is better.
Okay, but I'm just saying they're just both in my head.
Gotcha.
And I was gonna say we could like start out strong like Uncharted does immediately in they like, start out with the like plane scene right away with like no like
we're just gonna start halfway through.
Halfway through the pod. Yeah, and I really think that's a good point about yeah. So I think we could do that. I say we just jump into it with the intros.
Hello and welcome back to Remake Hot Take, the podcast where we play TV and movie executives pitching remakes of our favorite and new media. I'm Marriya Schwarz.
I'm Brooke Rees.
And today we are talking about the Netflix movie Red Notice and possibly Uncharted. Also, just in case something gets filtered in. So, Brooke, what did you think of Red Notice?
I don't remember when I first watched this. I don't know. Do you know when it came out? How long it's been out for?
I want to say definitely since like New Year's, because I was thinking about watching it on New Year's Eve with my family, and then I was like, no. Yeah. So I want to say it's been out for a little while.
I think I watched it like maybe a couple months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago then. Mm-hmm. And my initial reaction is that I have not liked a single like new movie that I have watched in the past like year, 2 years. I don't know. The pandemic's hitting me hard. I think
you liked Everywhere something all at once or something, except for the hot dog.
Not as much as other people. Like I'm just kind of like riding on this like.
You liked senior year?
Everything's been like okay. Nothing has like hit me with like this will change my personality. Like I wouldn't say that I have wanted to rewatch like any movie really that I've seen in the past like year to 2 years. I don't know. It may be like depression, but it may not be the movie's fault. I think like Ryan Reynolds he did like 40 Netflix originals that had like no marketing. I had no idea that they were coming out. And this is like one of them that I like saw, but there are like 5 more that I haven't seen that he has on there.
I haven't seen like the Adam Project.
Free Guy.
I haven't seen that one too. That one has Joe Keery.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, our little Steve Harrington. I've been my parents finished all of Stranger Things and they love Steve now. Yeah. And so I showed my mom. I was like, oh, this is Joe, DJO, which until I have did research on it, I have been pronouncing as DeJoe, which apparently is not how Joe Keery pronounces his music band self. And my mom says that he should stick to acting. So that's a little professional advice.
Yes, feisty. Oh my gosh.
Right. But anyway, back to Red Notice.
But anyways, I think I'm feeling just kind of like a general sense of tiredness with I guess, would you consider these like mid-budget movies? And it's weird because I
Mm.
generally like love a mid-budget like thief or criminal or spy movie, like that's action comedy is usually like one of my favorite genres. Um but I think we've just been like inundated with so many, combined with the fact that like for some reason I am not like being marketed any of these movies anymore. Like I have
I
no
need to
idea.
be wooed.
I want to be seduced. I want to be like, I want to see like ads for it
Mhm.
months in advance. I want to see different cuts of the trailer. And it wasn't like it was too much of a high budget that it wasn't like, oh, an awful low budget Netflix find where you find it and you're like, whoa, like this is amazing. Like it's amazing accidentally. This is like trying to be a good movie. That all of that being said, these are just like personal problems that I'm bringing to the table. Is that like I thought it was good. I was like,
Are you
yay.
sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was like amazing. So I knew you like texted that you like adamantly loved this movie. So I'm excited to see what you really enjoyed about it. But I did rewatch it last night. Um and there is like a big like twist at the end, which I did think was a good twist. I did not see that coming. I do remember being like, oh, so upon rewatching, it was fun. I always love like when a movie has a big twist, rewatching and getting to see all of the like small things that they've worked in there that you like only notice or get the point of on the second watch. So that was fun to do this time around. I did enjoy that. I think it's kind of like three actors. First of all, Gal Gadot, like Twitter doesn't like her. Twitter
Because
doesn't
of
like
like the
her.
Imagine thing and also the war and stuff. I feel
Also
like she's
like
just had some stuff.
Pal- yeah, also like Palestine,
Yeah.
like Israel, like she is, I don't know, some might call her a war criminal. I literally Googled like Israeli Palestinian crisis before we got on here. I was like, what are the details? And was trying to learn like 100 years of like complicated history about why I should not like this woman. So Twitter, like my Twitter feed, like is kind of full of like hyper film people like talking about who we hate and who we don't hate. And I'm like, oh my God, I never knew all this stuff before. It's a lot. People basically don't like Ryan Reynolds because he did get married on a plantation with Blake
Mm-hmm.
Lively, which they have since apologized for. I think I like Ryan Reynolds. I think he has done for me a little bit too much of the same exact character and same exact thing, like, and it's his brand. I mean, it's that like funny dark humor, like what is it called, like anti-hero or whatever, that he's done since Deadpool, but he's kind of like only done that for the movies that I've seen him in, and so it's gotten like a little bit tired. um Dwayne the Rock Johnson, I find no fault in him. I don't know what Twitter's saying about him, but Brooke is saying I still like this man.
Endorsement.
I will buy whatever tequila brand. I don't know. They all have like a
I mean,
tequila
his
brand.
rap though. Do you remember the rap?
No. What?
Yeah,
Oh,
he had a rap. He started like a random rapping career, and everyone was like, "The
oh
Rock,
yeah.
you are doing so well. You didn't need to do this."
Yeah, the TikTok song. Well, they got to diversify their investments. So he was like, I'm going to be a rap star. But I have followed him since like the Disney Channel original movie. It's not an
Oh,
original movie, I don't think, but
I know
uh
exactly what you're. The football one.
yeah, the
Game
football one.
plan.
Yeah, the game plan. I have followed him since then, since he had hair. And I have enjoyed, I
Did he
won't.
have hair in that movie?
He did. He had hair in his first like 5 movies.
Huh.
You should Google it right now. I recently rewatched that like a couple months back. But I thoroughly enjoy all of his movies. I do not think he is a brilliant actor, nor do I think Gal Gadot is a good actor.
Yeah.
But
But
Dwayne
they're hot, and that's all that counts.
Gal Gadot is very beautiful. The Rock is intimidating in his size. Beautiful, I don't know.
He does have hair.
I told you he has hair. You doubted me.
It makes me uncomfortable for some reason.
Yeah, he has hair in his first like a couple of movies, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoy every piece of trash that he puts out. But so it was kind of like three like massive talents in my opinion. And I don't know that I necessarily liked the meshing of The Rock with Ryan Reynolds. Just because Reynolds was just giving me the same stuff that he does every single time, and I was just like a little bit bored with it. That being said, like I don't think this movie is like bad in any way. I just like am depressed and didn't think it was amazing in any sense. But yeah, overall opinion would be like a 3.5 out of 5 stars from critic Brooke Rees. But yeah, I don't know.
But The Rock 5 out of 5.
The Rock 5 out of 5. Ryan Reynolds like 3.5 out of 5. Gal Gadot 1 out of 5. Free Palestine. I don't know. I don't know. I did some internet research, but I don't know if that's accurate. She just, in my mind, isn't that good of an actor, and she's just pretty. But there are other pretty people. I don't know. I'm just I'm flabbergasted. But we can get into it. I don't want to like yuck your yum too much. Like
what is that?
Like I don't want to diss
Who
on
says that?
My cousin said that when I was like 5 years old, and it stuck with me.
You just sound like you just came out of the 40s. All of a sudden, I don't want to yuck your yum.
I don't want to yuck your yum, Marriya, but carry on. So like, I don't want to diss on something that you like too much, but I'm interested to hear like what your initial impression. What?
I'll never get over yuck your yum. That makes me so uncomfortable.
That makes you violently ill. Yuck your yum. Like you like take a bite of something and you're like, oh my god, yum. And then someone's like, yuck. And then it's like, oh, that makes me sad. And then you put down the candy bar or whatever you were eating. So I don't want to make you put down the candy bar. But I'm okay. We've taken this phrase to its end point. But I'm interested to hear like what your initial attraction was to this movie and like why you loved it so much, and then we can jump into some further details too.
I just feel like we have been striking out, you and me, lately. Sorry to air our relationship.
What are we speaking out on?
I just feel like we have very different, like you really like Senior Year, you really like Twilight, and I just like shitted on all of them. I think the nice thing about our friendship is that we agree on the stuff that matters. Like Ansel Elgort is a creep.
Yeah, we're very solid on like predatory people. But Twilight is one where like it's so bad it's good. Was that this for you, or was it
this is my film? This is my film. It has history. And yes, Ryan Reynolds plays the same character, but he does it so well.
He does.
Like I just liked all of his jokes. And then they had Great British Bake Off, Ed Sheeran, Juice. Like it ticked all the boxes for me, all the juice boxes.
It's everything fun to film.
Like we open up with a documentary, which is great, and then we go into an arts and crafts session. Like, come on, this is my film.
Oh, well, I can appreciate it for that then. Maybe you'll turn me around by the end, because I'm not like anti this film. I'm just like, good neutral.
I don't know. I just thought it was really funny, and like obviously it's very much like reminiscent of other spy thievery movies like National Treasure and stuff. There was a lot of parallels, but I really liked it. I like Ryan Reynolds a lot.
I do too,
despite the problematic things.
I like well, yeah, I mean, I think the only problematic thing that I've seen people point out is the plantation, and I think they have thus since apologized for it.
They
which is
raised a lot of money for Ukraine.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad person, as you know, little as a celebrity millionaire can be a bad person.
Mhm.
But I think he's funny too, and I do like the bit that he does.
Mhm.
It's just, I don't know, for me, I've just seen it a little too much, and I think it's not like anything on him or on this film. I think it's just like a combination of, I haven't seen that many new movies because I've just been doing rewatches. So the ones that I have seen, I've just been like frustrated by my lack of like love for any of them. But
Do you
I will
think
say,
Ryan Reynolds could play like a different character? Like if he was like in a very serious Manchester by the Sea kind of like role, do you think that would take you out of it? Or do you think, I
you'd be
don't
like, why
know,
is this man crying? It's Ryan Reynolds.
right? Why is Deadpool crying?
He doesn't have a family that loves him that he accidentally killed. Um, what other films has he been in? I feel like his early career
Like
was
The
still,
Proposal?
yeah, was still rom-com, but it was a
Mhm.
slightly different like
I mean,
take.
Green Lantern.
I never saw Green Lantern.
Good.
But good, it wasn't worth it.
But I just feel like his character, Ryan Reynolds' character, would be like really great at cosplay, you know? Like he was just like DIY king.
He was in this movie. He was like, they didn't really go into like the intricate details
Right.
of his full skill set, but it was impressive.
Like I
Uh
just never realized because I guess like the bishop also replaced the egg with a fake one. So like when I think of thievery, I think of like sneaking around and gadgets. But I didn't realize how much like arts and crafts was involved.
yeah, have you seen like Ocean's 11?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Ocean's 11, but like one person. They were like, I don't need friends. I need a master class
Yeah.
on welding. But yeah, they were like pulling those eggs out like they got them at TJ Maxx on sale
Right.
and like dressed them up a little bit with a glue gun. Um, but yeah, let's see. I was saying the I took some notes on these. Like I think the one-liners are always good. And I do like I think like Ryan Reynolds often has like a like interpersonal relationship where he is like saying something about how much he like loves the other person when it's like an
Mm,
unrequited like business relationship or whatever in this case.
that's my
Um
life.
no. But I really like the lines when he was like this is my friend and he's like we're not friends. This
Oh
is
yeah,
my
I love that.
friend.
It's my best friend.
I really like that one. And then I liked when he referred to them as like he was like, who's this? And he was like, this is my work wife. And then he said something about a sister wife.
We're not
So
wives. We're not married. We're getting a divorce and I'm taking the kids.
yeah. I really liked, I think those are two of my favorite ones. Another one liner was like the sequence where they get into the bowl pit bowl
Mhm.
arena, and he's like saying don't move like they can't see if you don't move. And then when Dwayne Johnson says yes or no, was Jeff Goldblum in it? And he was like, oh yeah, it was Jurassic Park. I think that was also one of my favorite lines. So those are my favorite parts. And I did like the twist ending.
I
uh
looked it up beforehand, so I wasn't surprised.
ah, did you do that like on purpose or did you
No,
stumble
I was just like, what's gonna happen? I don't know. I like to know what's happening while it's happening.
I do that too. I've
I like
tried to
control.
I do that too. I try to I always like read the last page of a book and I'm like,
Mm.
this makes no fucking sense, but let me get back to that later. And I used to be like an avid Googler of endings. And then my friends yelled at me so much that I was ruining the mood and ruining the evening of movie watching together that
I
I
mean,
have.
at least that's all you were doing, you
Yeah.
know? Like it's not like something fundamental.
Yeah, it's not like murder. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
killing anyone during movie night. I was just killing the vibe, not killing my friends.
That's good.
um, but I did kind of kick the habit, so I was genuinely surprised by the twist ending when I watched it the first time around.
Mhm.
Um, I will say, okay, let me get to like I guess some of my like other big questions are like I think maybe the reason why this one didn't hit me so much is that like I am always comparing it in the back of my mind to National Treasure. And I will say, even Ryan Reynolds' charm does not hit me the way that like Nick Cage can walk through a conspiracy theory. Like nothing will ever beat it. And like it's just like an unattainable height.
I
But
mean,
like
this one didn't have John Voight, and I feel like that's a plus.
it is. He adds a lot to the character,
Mhm.
him and his lemon bowl. Um,
Well,
but
he's just like he's a big Trump supporter.
is he?
Yeah, that actor. Well, your Twitter hasn't caught on to that yet.
No, they weren't canceling Angelina Jolie's dad.
Yeah, he's made a
Uh,
bunch of like videos where he's seated in front of like an American flag and he's like, Patriots, this is a sad day for us. Yeah,
no.
he's done a
Who
lot
gave
of
him
that.
a phone? He's like 89 years old. What is he doing? Is this on,
83 years old. I looked it
oh,
up
okay. Is this
earlier.
on his Snapchat? That's a tragedy. We lost an
Right.
American hero. um, but it's like I think maybe what I like more with spy or criminal or like we're finding a treasure, we're finding a big secret thing is the like national treasure like suspense moment. Like we usually have like a moment where we're like we like figured out the big thing or we're like walking through like a series of like clues that Nick Cage has suddenly figured out and no one does it like him. There's like a moment of suspense and then he's like how I'll never forget we were watching this movie and like my friend was like this is ridiculous like and then he did a demonstration of what Nick Cage does in all of these movies and I'll perform it for you now but he was like Nick Cage literally is like pen a pen I have to kidnap the president of the United like that's like the leaps that he takes but
I
I am
love when he goes off hinge where he's like, pen, writing, JK Rowling, no. Like he does
no
the most ridiculous ones going off. I would love to be in a brainstorming session with with Nick Cage. I mean, it's very possible that that's just him just brainstorming on set.
yeah, he's like, what is it? He's like trade routes between Indonesia and Siamese twins. And then he's like, no, no, no. And he refrains himself. He gets back into the flow of things a little bit better. But
It would be
yeah,
nice if like it always ends at like Kevin Bacon or something.
yeah,
By
it's like
6 degrees.
he has six turns to try to connect it all to him. Um, but I think it's just like something that like more suspense feeling because I feel like actually National Treasure is not completely like comedy driven and comedy based.
Mhm.
We have like Riley and
This was
then
like if Riley's the main character, which
this
I like.
basically it's like if Riley was the main character, but he was also like a lot more charming and like conventionally hot. I think Riley's hot, but I don't think he's supposed to be conventionally hot.
Oh, he is the best one.
Yeah, I mean, we're fucking him out of everyone.
And then like then we also had the parallel of like the one female with an accent. Like it was just property damage, history, all of that was there. Two sets of thieves like going against each other.
I did watch Uncharted the day before I watched
Fuck
this, so
Uncharted.
everything is it's kind of mixing together. Like
Uncharted didn't make any sense to me.
I didn't realize that Uncharted was based on the video game because like there was this
And
man
it should have stayed a video game.
there was this man who like clearly was supposed to be a cameo. He's like they like walk up onto a beach and he's like, "Oh, fell out of a car that fell out of a plane. That happened to me last Tuesday." And I was like, this man obviously is like a cameo. I'm like, who the fuck is he? It's like the most boring white man I have ever seen So then I like Googled and it was like blah 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 who played the voice of blah 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 in the PlayStation
They
video
play
game.
blah blah blah.
He did. He played blah blah blah, but only blah 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 in the second series.
Oh, okay. That makes
Um,
sense.
but I was like, oh, I didn't even realize. I guess it made sense because a lot of the aspects were like fantastical to the point of unbelievability in
Hmm.
the sense that like a video game is supposed to be. Um, but Tom Holland was looking good in that
He
movie.
was, but it wasn't enough to save it for me. And again,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like Tom Holland also plays the same character. I mean, that was Peter Parker jumping from
Yes.
out of the plane. Like, like it's the same thing.
He had like a slight Bronx accent this
Right?
time though. He was bringing and bartending skills. But
I
yeah,
don't remember that in Spider-Man.
no, that's Spider-Man Far From Home, and I need an Uber because I cannot drive legally.
No, but did you like Uncharted or Red Notice better?
I think
There
Red
is a
Notice
right answer. Okay.
for
Yep,
sure.
that's the right
Yeah,
answer.
Mark Wahlberg leaves a lot to be desired. And I kind of hated like all of the characters in that movie except for
Mhm.
Tom Holland's character because
Right.
I mean, in all of these like spy criminal thief movies, it's like you never trust a thief. Like they all have trust issues, like to the extreme. And in
Hmm.
Uncharted, it is justified because like the main female like character,
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it. I was like, stop doing that. I'm like, this is Tom Holland is a stand-up young man. I was like, he is a 20-year-old little boy that is very nice and just wants to see his brother. Like, why are you screwing him over? I will say, like, the history part of that one, this is something that I wanted to get to. So, like, the main history part of that one is like finding these lost pirate ships that are like absolutely like you can't even place the value on them. They're so much a part of history. Like they themselves are priceless. And there's a lot of gold inside of them. And then they're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna helicopter them out of this hole that's like journeying to the center of the earth hole in this cave. And then we're gonna just destroy the shit out of them. I was like,
Yeah.
oh well, there they fucking go. I
I
was
mean,
like,
that's national treasure right for you. I mean, like, how long did they find Charlotte before they blew her up?
yeah, I mean, basically, if you're a ship in a spy movie, you're you're not sticking around for a long time. But
Ryan
that
Reynolds' little Bali ship. I hope it's okay.
the little I love that his little ship was named what is it named? It was named something in reference to Titanic. Oh, like we're gonna be okay, Rose, is what it was. I really liked that detail.
I liked Red Notice because I think it implies that maybe the law enforcement goes by like a Roy G. Biv model. And like maybe
Yeah.
there's a violet notice and they're like not even worth getting out of bed for.
And they're like, they like stole a pencil in the 8th grade. They
Right.
are on our watch list, but low priority. That's what I wanted to mention though, is like the origin of these like treasure pieces. It's like national treasure. It's like this is the city of gold that we saved from the Confederates in like the Civil War. And this
Mhm.
one is like, this one's Nazi treasure.
Right.
Let's get out my dad's Nazi watch and take a little look see. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, that feels like a little icky. I'm like, are we not? I don't know. It felt weird that that was like the goal, and like it never was really like touched upon in any other way.
Right.
Other than,
And like having to turn the watch so it becomes the
yeah,
swastika
they're
was
like,
like a
oh, like
little alarming.
yeah, it's like because that's the moment where like we all like cheer, right? And it's like in National Treasure,
No.
like this wants to go. Like, yes, I can't wait for the treasures inside. Thank you, German soldiers of past. Like, I was like, what's the meaning here behind this?
I also found it was interesting when Inspector Dawes talks to the rich guy of like, keeping Nazi stolen loot is against the law, like you're under arrest. That's so specific. Like, how many times has that happened?
Like, you're the fifth one on our list today. We gotta go talk to this other prince. But
I love like any movie that has locations written in like big bold letters. I don't know, like Rome, Bali. I love that. Like, I feel like that should be like with more indie movies where it's like school, drugstore. I think that would be
same
fun.
location. Walgreens, 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. Yeah.
I just think that's fun. No one wearing gloves was kind of stressing me out. Because I feel like hand residue on something that old is alarming. Like, it doesn't really bother me that much in National Treasure, even though they did wear a lot of gloves in National Treasure, when usually paper documents don't always require gloves because you can't feel how hard or rough you're being with paper documents. But if it was like a hide, then that kind of makes sense. I don't know. That's a whole thing. But I was like, let's not kiss things. Let's not breathe on them. Though I will say it was nice. It was a nice change to see like Rome having Egyptian artifacts, or like Argentina or whatever they were at the end, instead of like British. Like, the British left something from Egypt for some other country. That was so nice.
Yeah, you're like, purely from a historical conservation point, I am anxious throughout the movie.
I also just love how the entire like theme of the movie was like, we're different, but we all have daddy issues. So are we really that different? And so it's like the Rock character, like, dad is a crook. Ryan Reynolds, dad is a cop. Even Sotto Voce, he was like something, was strangling or something. And then Gal Gadot says, my father made me who I am today. So I'm hoping that maybe like her father was a part-time crook and cop, just for like best of both worlds. Like, she just gets it.
That's why she's the best. She's like, I had a little sampling of both.
Right?
He was like a cop gone to seed. He just he like was a crooked cop that then wasted away.
And I mean, the take your daughter to work day would be exhilarating.
Yeah, that's really what sparked her interest.
And I love the fact that this rich guy has named his daughter Cleopatra. I'm going to name my daughter like Banksy. And then when she gets married, I'm going to put out a plea with all the thieves of the world.
That is so funny.
I also love a good ballroom scene. Brooke and I were in ballroom class, so love that.
We were. I could not identify. Was that a waltz? I don't know.
It was something.
Waltz in A minor.
Waltz in A minor.
That's on the piano, but you know, you could dance in an A minor interpretation as well.
I mean, that's should I say it? That's what Ansel Elgort is known for.
That was good.
Thank you. I also wanted to talk about, what did you think of Sotto Voce's voice? Like, I know that's why he was called Sotto Voce, but I felt like it was like he needed a cough drop like the whole time. Or it was also reminded me of like Voldemort's voice. It was like Voldemort if he's like an arms dealer, like, I get to touch you now, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah, Harry Potter, the boy who lived, come to die. Yeah, perfect. I could not stand it. That was also a bullet point in my thing. But it's like, it wasn't like all the time. It was like he had like 5 lines there where he just was normal, and then
Sotto Voce.
Yeah, like when he was like when he saw like Gal Gadot dancing with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, he was like, I had to get a piece of that ass. And he like talked normally. And then he went up to give his speech and he was like,
this is the same knife I killed my father with.
Yeah, or the same gun. And he was like, I love this gun. I killed my dad with it. I was like, dude. I was like,
daddy issues. It's the daddy issues movie.
I know. I was like, is this a party or like a therapy session?
I
Because
feel like accessible therapy could have changed a lot of these characters'
that was
lives.
gonna be like one of my remakes. I was like, we give any of them like a guidance counselor in high school that cares about their job. They're working a 9 to 5. They're getting eggs from the grocery store. Like they're not trying to find these across the world. Like that's gonna be one of my potential remakes. But
I like the little like fake fight between, well, we found out is a fake fight between Gal Gadot and The Rock, because I just love the like image of them taking stage fighting classes. I don't know.
like they show
Also,
up to, like a
why
stunt
did
workshop.
right? They're like, and joining us today are these two thieves. You can call us the bishop.
They're like,
Or like, you know how they do like zip zap zop in like theater and they do like the bishop. That's what I'm envisioning.
wait, what is zip zap zop?
Oh, it's just like awful. It's like you're in a circle and everyone's staring at each other and you go like zip and then the other person goes like zap zop and whoever like messes up the
Are you hitting them? Or
no,
what
it's just like you're sending it to them. I don't know. It's
Oh,
a
like you're
horrible,
like
it was a
across
horrible
the circle
experience.
and
I
you
don't
go like
like anything like that. I don't like any group activity.
no. There was one time there was like a warm up icebreaker thing that we did for like for freshman orientation, and then that like we did in like one of my clubs where everyone takes their shoes off and you like stand. Have you done this one? Everyone takes their shoes off and you all stand in a circle behind your pair of shoes, and then you say like a general like trait, like I have a dog. And whoever else also has a dog has to run across the circle to get to a different pair of shoes. And that was like the first freshman orientation warm up thing we did. And I was like, I'm leaving. I was like, I will be excusing myself. Like, I have sweaty feet. I don't need anyone else like looking at them. It was a foot fetish dream.
Yeah, no, I've played that game a lot in different camps. Like I've led that game when I was a camp counselor. Never heard of the shoe version.
Yeah.
I think someone was just pervy.
Yeah, that's not actually how you play it. We were maybe assaulted. Yeah, I was a little confused why they did have a camera out and they were zooming in and taking pictures of people's feet as they ran across. They were like, I have a dog and a foot count on OnlyFans. But yeah, wait, what were we saying in regards to that point? Oh, they're like going to
A
like
theater
stunt
class.
classes. Yeah, stunt
I
classes.
I just love the idea. Also, why did she take out her hair to fight? Feel like
I know.
it would get in your mouth. I don't know. I just feel like she had a much more fighting hairstyle.
Not Gal Gadot. She was like, I need my hair down and it's gonna act. I feel like she's the kind of woman where like her hair will do what she wants it to. Like she has not encountered a bad hair day ever. She's like, what's that? I don't know what that is. Oh my God, is that foreign? Like she doesn't know what that is.
I've been because it's the 10th, 15th anniversary of The Legend of Korra. And so my mind originally like went to like water bending, air bending, hair bending.
Hair bending, yeah. She's like, you need your hair braided? Zoop zoop, got it. But I was saying that like in actuality, they're probably like a really annoying couple to be around. They're like, you think that they maybe only have one toothbrush amongst them. Like they share like a name. We're not sure who the bishop is, like John Hartley or whatever has a name, but that was probably like all fake.
You can call me Bish and you can call her Up.
Up. Yeah, that's my bish. What's up? Like it's
I definitely feel like they're the kind of people who go to a restaurant and ask for a booth and then they sit on the same side.
Yeah,
you know?
no, they start fucking in the booth. Like they are a like menace to society. They have several like sexual predator, like sex in public assault.
They're going downtown.
Yeah, they are into a little bit of rough foreplay.
I mean,
But
those handcuffs.
I know
They've been out before.
yeah, I'm surprised they weren't like covered in fur and pink, but yeah, anyways, they would be like horribly annoying to be around. Like
Right.
so the film ends with Ryan Reynolds being like, haha, I stole your money. And he's like, you want to be my partner? And it's like, you don't know what kind of throuple situation you just got yourself into. Like, you're going to be, like I said, he's going to be sharing a toothbrush. He's not going to have a name by the end of this. So I think, like, if we look at the facts here, they're a really annoying couple to be around.
Right.
It's like, you know, like Gal Gadot's your friend. And you're like, hey, girls' night. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson shows up. And you're like, who the fuck is this? Like, why is he here? This is girls' night. And like he'll put like a face mask on with you, and then they like leave early. I'm mad.
No, that's totally it.
That's it. But and the ending with Ed Sheeran. My question, why was Ed so down to like fight for this Egyptian billionaire?
Because he wants song material.
Like he was ready to throw down with like the United States government after like one song. He was like, this is it. I'm wrecking the guitar.
Well,
like
his next song is like, I hate the shape of you, United States government.
Yeah.
You know, it's all for that material.
Yeah. He's just doing it for the next album.
Mm-hmm.
The next album is Prison Blues.
Well, I'm worried about him because I don't know if you're a big Ed Sheeran fan. I really like Ed Sheeran, but he's had like divide, addition, multiply, subtract, maybe. What's like the next one going to be, like Pythagorean theorem? Like, I feel like he's just running out.
Oh my God. It's going to be the quadratic formula.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I never noticed that. Are those his album titles?
Mm-hmm.
I think vaguely in my mind, the album cover art is like that.
Math.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I never.
It's like if you were a math major and then you went into music and you're like, well, I paid for the degree.
Like, I'm gonna go back to basics here and use what I know. Yeah,
that's why all of my creative writing works are named after famous American history battles, so I can use that American studies degree.
Oh my God. I don't need all of my films are named after psychological disorders that I myself have experienced. This knowledge about Ed Sheeran is really throwing me from the loop. My parents like love him, and I know like 8 of his songs that I like, and I've just been like calling it like the X. Like I'm like, it's all coming together for me. That's making a lot more sense. But is there an equal sign?
There might be. I don't remember, but
if not, I think that's actually up next before the Pythagorean. That's like in 10 years.
Did you have any more thoughts about the movie?
I think that's it. We can jump into like our remakes. I think this is like a subtle change, but a big one. And I think that instead of Red Notice, this movie should be entitled Red Notice Me, Please. So and I think this is actually the tale of what I want to talk about is this movie instead has this Egyptian billionaire dad has like one single conversation with this daughter that he loves about what she wants, and she clearly looks like she's maybe 22 years old, and she's like, Dad, I want the new iPhone. And he's like, oh shit, like he's like, I was gonna hire like every thief in the world to bring me like 3 eggs from Cleopatra. And she's like, Dad, I failed history class. She's like, I don't care at all.
He's like, you love this. Your name is Cleopatra. You named me.
She's like, I didn't even know Cleopatra was a real person. I thought it was a Lumineer song. Like, she doesn't know. Like, she does not care. She's like, I want the iPhone 13, Dad. I want like a Pomeranian, and she wants a new car for her wedding. And he's like, done and done. And so the notice me is like, I think they just need to foster, if we can change one father daddy issue relationship, I say we start there. Because I will say, like, let's talk about the ending. I feel bad for the dad. That's like the whole kicker of this, is that he, like, coming from someone whose dad has given them just really off the mark gifts. No, I wish. I wish. So sometimes eggs would have been better. But one year for Christmas, my dad gave me a gun when I was like 10. This was a hunting rifle. This was like a rite of passage in rural Pennsylvania, but it was not one that I had ever expressed the slightest bit of interest in wanting to participate in.
Was it Cleopatra's gun?
No, it was Mark Antony's. But yeah, so let me like detail some of my father-daughter gift relationships. So this was like a sequence of like 4 years in a row. So first year, and this was when like my mom was still letting him buy his own gifts for me. So first it was the hunting rifle. And then the next year it was a like automatic bow and arrow, or like it's called something like, it's another hunting thing that's like a really powerful one.
You were into the Hunger Games.
I was into the Hunger Games. I will say this is right around the time, but yet again, it's like a compound bow is what it's called, I think. This one's like hunting specific. And I was like, I don't need to touch this. Did you have archery class in school? We had archery classes in gym. No. That was like, we routinely did that. And this may be a rural thing. But we routinely had archery classes. And there were people who did do archery like as a sport in school. But again, not me. And then the next year after that, he got me a exercise equipment. Again, not asked. You probably shouldn't give any sort of exercise equipment unless specifically asked. It's like that. My husband gave me a Peloton because he said my ass is fat. I don't know if that was the motivation, but the exercise equipment
I'm just picturing your ass is fat. XOXO dad. That's the story you would share in a jail cell with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah, and he would like feel really bad for me. But it wasn't like a high intensity exercise equipment. It was literally, it's like this like little bar that you stand on, and not even bar, it's like a little platform, like there's room to stand on it, and it shakes back and forth, and that's all it does.
Wait, so it's like a shake weight for your feet?
You just stand on this and it just jiggles.
So it's like a not fun mechanical bull.
I don't even know that it has a comparison. It is its own unique entity. But
what was it supposed to do?
You just shake the fat ass out. I really don't know.
I thought it was like a NASA trial.
I was getting used to like deep space. Yeah, he had big ambitions for me. And then the next year and the final year that he gave gift, it was a toothbrush. So dad did his best
for you to share with Gal Gadot.
Yeah, me and my husband here, our singular toothbrush. I will say it was an electric toothbrush. Ooh. So it was, he had like a high price point for all these gifts. And I did use it. It was a good gift, but that's saying something when the toothbrush is the best gift you've ever gotten from your dad. So I thoroughly relate to this girl, but I feel bad for the dad. Like, we have this whole movie. He's like, oh my God, she's gonna love this.
And Ed Sheeran
just takes it right away. So this is actually a very sad movie. This is a tale about a relationship that needs to be mended. But yeah,
they had to include one more dad-child relationship gone sour. Inspector Dawes probably has something there.
Yeah, I just want to know why we don't have mommy issues. Is that like the sequel? that's like the next movie as they talk about all their moms. But yeah, that's my remake. So what do you think you're going for?
I think it would be funny if it was Red Notice, but that egg that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson pours Coke on at the very beginning, that's the real one. And we just end it there.
Like everyone just tackles him. They're like, you have destroyed a priceless heirloom.
Yeah. Because touching it with gloves is fine without gloves, but pouring the Coke on it? Who?
Yeah. I feel like that would be dangerous. I mean, like, I don't know much about the, atomic structure of different metals, but I feel like if you handed Cleopatra a Diet Coke, she would pass away. Like, that would be too much for her.
She needed a Coke Zero.
Yeah, it's the aspartame that really gets you.
And then I think, the soundtrack we end with like a great song in the ending, but I think of what if the soundtrack was just Dwayne the Rock Johnson top hits. So what I want you to do, Brooke, and everyone listening, you one person, close your eyes, and I'm going to reenact a scene for you. So they're standing in front of the Louvre. Dwayne the Rock Johnson says, "What could go wrong?" Gal Gadot turns, "Everything." And then we go into the music as we pan. It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour.
I can see it, and it's beautiful.
And like maybe like even they're dancing and stuff in the ballroom scene. They're dancing to like, I don't know, Moana, like anything Dwayne has done is game.
I think we do it like Bridgerton style though. So it's about drive, it's about power, but set to the tune of like a Knight's Waltz,
Yeah.
It's about drive. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
Yeah. That would be I feel like we could just make a whole playlist just of different versions. Then my last one was if at the very last minute it's actually Ben Gates. He's the one who's tipping off Dawes saying someone's gonna steal these eggs and we have to do it before they will. He brings his own old man, but we're gonna recast John Voight with like maybe Ian McKellen, maybe Donald Sutherland, one of those.
Ian McKellen, gay icon. I'm sure he doesn't like Trump.
Because I think
British,
right? Because I think Red Notice what it really needed was an old man energy. That was really absent.
Maybe I'm missing the sidekick energy because when you have Dwayne and that's a buddy cop, movie, I think maybe I like more leading man and whimsical side.
Was Nick Cage a leading man? That was
yes. I would let him lead me anywhere.
Even into like a grave at Trinity Church.
Yeah, like into a back alley, no questions asked. I'd be like, we're about to discover something beautiful, no matter
alarming. What. Into like his little mausoleum or whatever he's created for himself to be buried when he dies. But it's like they pick up the egg and it's already soaked in like Nick Cage's blood because he's always bleeding on things in National Treasure when they could have chosen any other liquid. He starts soaking the egg in lemon juice to look for a map, just like classic National Treasure things. I feel like
we needed Abigail though, because she would be extremely concerned about, document conservation.
Right?
We needed her energy there. Or Nick Cage's mom. She would have been upset too.
Poor Helen Mirren married to John Voight in that movie. Whew.
We'll get a recast. Don't worry, Helen.
Good thing she was in Inkheart with Brendan Fraser. Love her, love him. Any other concluding thoughts before we go into what we've seen recently, which I guess for you is nothing good?
It's just like same old, man. But no, I think like I said, I don't hate it. I like it. Would watch it again. If prompted, if provoked. I think I've said that about the last
Snow White.
I'm like, would watch if held at gunpoint. Like, wouldn't make too much of a fuss.
Do you still have the hunting rifle to be utilized for this purpose?
We do have we have a room that just has a pool table in it. That's my dad's room, the pool table room as we call it.
That's where he sleeps, or
no, it's where he plays pool. But we have He does have like, it's very man-ish, and there's a huge elk skin on the wall, elk fur actually, elk hide, and lots of elk antlers, and 3 guns, 3 hunting rifles, and cowboy hats.
Do you ever hunt?
No, no. I literally one time in my life, he bought that gun for me when I was like 12 or whatever. And then I did take a hunter safety course to get your hunting license. And I did score a 100% on the exam. And my dad had to also take the class to get his hunting license in the state of Pennsylvania. And he scored a 98%. So
What
who do
did
you
they
trust?
test you on? Like,
It was extensive. I had to learn how to like gut and disembowel and prep your deer. Like once you kill it, you're supposed to do it like right there. I had to learn that. I had to learn there was a practical portion of this exam where you like have like a plastic gun in your hand and they make you go through an obstacle course to see like if you would ever accidentally
it's like
point
laser tag.
Yeah, they honestly
The
they
laser
had a
tag
laser.
portion.
And they make you like walk through this obstacle course. And there was not a single point where I wasn't pointing my gun at someone. I was like the person in like a show where it's like, whoa, and like that was me. I was like, oh, I have to hop under this fence. Let me aim this gun at the person next to me while I tiptoe carefully. So I will
Let's shoot the fence.
Yeah, like so on paper, I am an excellent study in the art of hunting. In practice, never done it, will not do it. The only time I shot that rifle was on a Father's Day, like 3 years ago, where
It's like Soda Voce. This is the gun I killed my father with.
No, this is the gun. This is the gun I went to a shooting range with my dad with on Father's Day of like 2019, and I shot it I think twice, and I hit the mark. Like I am lethal because I will be pointing my weapon mistakenly, but I will aim very well. But yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what point that stemmed from, but I did have to take a hunter safety course.
Interesting.
And I did never hunt.
So what have you been watching lately?
I've been watching Bones, I think, which I talked about last time. Still keeping up with that. I watched
Is
Uncharted.
the spin-off Ligaments?
No. It's not.
That silence was so loud.
I was trying to come up with something witty, but I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so it was just an honest answer. No, it's not. I wish there was a spin-off. They killed like all the good characters, and the series lasted for like 15 years. It's one of those like long hauler ones. I would recommend it though. Zoey Deschanel's sister, Emily Deschanel. I watched Uncharted. Oh, I didn't watch this, but I did play a video game with podcast regular Michaela Decay. Went to her house, traveled to her house in Connecticut, and we did play Quarry, which was a video game. And I will say, like, I feel like I have the potential to get addicted to video games. Like every time I've come into contact with one, I've been like, wow, this is so fun.
You're like Sims. Whew.
I never
Microsoft Solitaire. You can't tear me away.
See, I feel like I've never played either of those. Don't know how to play solitaire, but I feel like if you got me onto it, I would get fully invested. Like I did go a little too hardcore when I was like 8 years old on like Barbie's Horse Adventure, which was like the only video game I ever owned and played. And like I got too into it. What else? Oh, my roommate and I just started Fear the Walking Dead. We had been watching Walking Dead like 2 years ago during the pandemic. Pandemic's so bad during the early stages of the pandemic, and we stopped after like I think 4 seasons or so. Once like Negan gets introduced, we stopped there, and that's the point that I stopped. the first time that I'd watched through the series. So I have not seen past that point, and I've given it 2 goes. So we just started Fear the Walking Dead, which is their spin-off series.
Are you gonna do Tales of the Walking Dead, which is the new one with Terry Crews and
Oh,
Olivia
really?
Munn? Yeah, that's the one that just came out like last week.
Is it supposed to be in the Walking Dead like universe still, or is it
I
just
think so. I don't know. I don't know much about it, but that's like the new one that just launched.
interesting? So far, Fear the Walking Dead is like nowhere near as good as Walking Dead. But yeah, that's it. What about you, Marriya?
Um, I've been watching Zoey 101. It's a
Nice.
fantastic show. I saw Extremely Wicked, Shockingly
Oh,
Evil and Vile. Ooh,
I saw Nope as well. That's I
Nope.
just looked at my thing. Yes, that's a big one that I saw.
Did you like it?
I did. Out of my most recent watches, I would say that one has been my most positive.
What would you score it out of 5? Keep in mind that you scored this one 3.5.
4 out of 5.
Ooh.
Um, it was really interesting. I think I do need to rewatch that one. But speaking of The Walking Dead, it did have Stephen Ewan. That his last name? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but from Glenn from The Walking Dead. So there's that crossover. Sorry to interrupt, but I knew there was one more thing. Looked at my list. So that is it. You saw incredibly
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Zac Efron.
You said
T
it
as
was
in torture. Instead of T as in Troy, T as in torture. Haha, that's a serial killer High School Musical joke. And then I started watching pieces of her, but I got really bored. It's
Which
like the mom has been in like witness protection or something, and then she gets national media attention. It was just really boring. I also watched The Staircase, which is based on the like true crime thing about this guy who might have like pushed his wife down the staircase or something, and that also got boring.
And she died?
Yeah.
That deserved like a whole
Yeah, it's
series?
like a whole series. Yeah. Because there was like a French documentary or something while the court case was going on. So it was like very interesting for the time. And then I watched The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal, which I actually really enjoyed. Because it's like a police like 911 caller and you like don't see anyone else, but I was somehow not bored. But obviously Jake Gyllenhaal is like but
No, we don't like him either, right?
yeah, I mean with all the Taylor Swift stuff, which is disappointing because I have his autograph.
Yeah, you saw him in when he was doing the
New
play.
York. Yeah. And then I also saw the other guy doing it. No one was really asking for his autograph. It was like a 2-man play. And so I asked him for his autograph. And now he's like the lead in The Sandman or something, Tom Sturridge. So I'm glad I got that.
You knew he was an up and comer.
Right? I'm like, I was like, you gotta listen to this. A little recruiter. And then I saw The Call, which is another 911 operator movie.
You put on a genre.
I saw Tully with which I really liked. Tully and Kodachrome, which are like 2 indie movies that I really liked. Crooked House, which I've talked to Brooke a lot about, the Agatha Christie adaptation with our girl Glenn Close. Love her.
And you said it was before Knives Out. What year was it?
I mean, it was Agatha Christie, so like a while. Like a good while. Like
they ripped her off.
Right? I thought that the whole like switching medications thing was like so novel. But the only thing they really invented was Chris Evans in a sweater. So that's all they could claim.
Hey, that brought a lot to the movie though, I will
Right?
say.
And then I'm watching Only Murders in the Building. The season finale is tomorrow. So that's anxiety inducing. And then I've been watching Echoes on Netflix, which is like it's like the twisted version of The Parent Trap, where like 2 twins switch places to like, and one like blows up the other one's life, and there's all this murder and stuff. So
You have
That
been on
sounds-
such a spooky,
I
like,
know.
crime and true crime like theme there. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know
I
what's
feel like
wrong
that's
with
not
me.
your normal, that's not your normal persuasion either.
It's a cry for help.
Okay. And I've just been watching like nothing. So interesting. Those all sound good though now. Now I kind of want to watch like a true crime thing.
I have so many suggestions. Yeah, I don't recommend The Staircase or Pieces of Her, but Echoes is pretty good. Only Murders is really good. So, yeah, I would really recommend Only Murders in the Building.
I don't know why, but Selena Gomez seems like she would be mean to me. I don't know. I have a hard time.
Are you just picturing her as Alex Russo?
It's like 80% yes, but 20% like her as a person. She just like looks like my one cousin who's really mean to me. So I'm gonna like put that blame on her, and anything Selena Gomez related, I'm like, I don't trust it. So I don't know
Really?
that I can fully
Did you
involve.
not like Fundamentals of Caring when we watched it before we escaped a hurricane?
I was distracted by by the hurricane portion. It allowed me to watch it, but I don't
So
know.
we have to wait for a hurricane for you to watch Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, that'll be the only scenario in which I'll do it. I'll be like, Selena will get me through. But other than that, she seems like she would make fun of me. Yeah. Same with Harrison Ford. Her and Harrison Ford are on my shit list.
What a weird combo.
They just seem mean. I'm just
picturing like baby you on a playground and then current age Harrison Ford and Selena Gomez just like pointing and laughing.
Yeah. I think that's it. I'm like, I get bad vibes.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for listening. This has been Remake Hot Take. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Gmail as Remake Hot Take. Brooke, where can they find you?
They can find me at my house if they try really hard.
But be careful, you have a whole room of guns.
I do. 3 guns. I don't know where the bullets are.
The
But
thought
you
that
don't
counts.
know that.
You've just admitted it.
They don't watch this part of the podcast. They clicked off after we talked about our last things we watched. They can find me on Instagram at @BReesyCup, at Twitter at ReesBrook1, and that's it.
You can find me at Marriya Schwarz, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you want to find me. I'll be there.
Where you lead, I will follow anywhere.
Anywhere.
That you tell me to if you need. I will follow where you lead.
What's that from?
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls. That's right.
If you're out on the road.
Ta-ta.